Hello, hello, hello. A big and warm welcome to each one of you today. And it's a pleasure to have all of you watching us live from YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook as well. A big, big warm welcome to each one of you to our show today. And please say hello if you're watching. A warm welcome to each one of you. Please mention your city name and just say a hello and show some love if you're watching today. I'm privileged to have with us one of India's fastest mathematicians and author, entrepreneur, investor, Mr. Dhaval Bhatia. Warm welcome to you, sir, today. How do you feel?
Thank you, Gaurav. It's a pleasure. I have been a great fan of you, your work that you are doing, and it's a pleasure that we have a two-decade-old friendship. So I'm entirely privileged to be here in your show today. Thank you so much.
I have something to show you. Because of a friendship for like 15 years, I have a surprise for you. Do you remember this at IIT Bombay where we were?
Oh, this is amazing! Wow, 2007, almost 14 years
14
now.
years,
Cool.
14 years, bro. 14 years. It's
Amazing,
been
amazing, fantastic, excellent photo. Thanks for those memories.
yeah, so it was good fun to, start the Vedic Maths journey together and to spread the cause of Vedic Maths across so many countries, including India. So, listeners and watchers today, the topic of the day, which we are going to talk about, is entrepreneurship and innovation in Vedic mathematics. So, if you are a big fan of Vedic Maths, you're a big fan of Dhaval, sir, please, please, please log in and start messaging us your questions. So Dhaval, sir, let me just first ask you, how were the early days? How did it all begin? I mean, I know we're all there together, but I want the audiences to know how did it all begin for you?
So I was in FIJC in college, and till 10th it was good. But in college I was struggling with mathematics. It was getting difficult and more difficult for me to learn calculus and derivative and integration. And then somehow my father got a book for me on Vedic mathematics by Swamiji, the original author, because that time I think perhaps that was the only book available.
True,
And when
true.
I read it, it kind of clicked because I saw that this is the way mathematics can be made more easy and exciting. So I did a kind of a show for everybody in my building. All my friends had come to my house to learn some tricks, and it was a hit. One of my neighbors was
Wow.
a principal in a school, so she said, "Why don't you come and teach in my school? I will give you the entire 10th standard." And I was a bit skeptical because half the audience was the one who used to play cricket with me on weekends, and now I had to teach them. But thankfully it went very nicely. It was very well appreciated. So the principal messaged to other principals in the area, and they started calling me for sessions and seminars, and that kind of clicked. Then I was in grade 12. I wrote my first book. I was, I think, 17 years old, and from then there has been no looking back. God has been very kind, and there has been good support from friends like you and the community also.
So when did you take after the book? We'll talk about the book a little later, but how did the first phase of promotion of Vedic math start? How was it that because this was something new, not everybody knew about it because of our own culture, it was there, and people don't respond so much in India to our own culture. So how was the market response considering it was new in India? How did you start this?
Correct. So initially, because money was not a big concern and I didn't have earning pressure, I was just a student. We were training free of cost. All our sessions and seminars were free. And principals were very eager to excited to invite me because their teachers would get a break from studies. So we used to send out brochures to all the schools in Mumbai that I'm going to come to your school and I'm going to train all the students free of cost. They were like, oh, okay, that's fine. You can always join us for that. And so we started this thing of getting it forward, and from one school to the next school to the next school to the next school. Then there were two, three media articles, one in Times of India, one in the Indian Express. And when it started coming in the media, then people started taking note of it, that no, this is something that can really change stuff. But I didn't have worksheets to give. I didn't have literature to give. And it was then that we decided I want to write a book. We got a DVD. In those days, DVDs were in vogue. They were very much prevalent. And once the DVD came, it really spread farther and farther and farther, but everything was restricted only to India.
Wow. So I believe you also took the concept of Vedic maths very, very aggressively, promoting it in schools abroad, especially in the Middle East. Where all did you travel, Dhawal? That was amazing to take the book and to take your videos on DVD in the countries abroad.
Correct. So it so happened that there was a parent from a school in Kuwait who read my book, and he said, "Will you be willing to travel to Kuwait and train the people there?" I was just almost 19, 20-year old and still in college. So I said, "Yes, I will travel to Kuwait." And when I went there, it was shocking. People were so excited to appreciate and welcome Vedic mathematics. We did three
Wow.
sessions there for the Indian community, and the community is very close knit because they're living in a foreign country, so they have to be very close knit with each other. So the first country we took it was Kuwait. In Kuwait, we got an amazing response. We did three schools of the Indian community school, three branches, Salmia, Khaita, and Aman, and over 5,000 people attended the session. And I said, I'm not going to charge you, but then I have some books and DVDs which I will sell. So they agreed to it, and that gave us some revenue. So then we put an idea to them that fine, we will take it forward to the other schools also. So then UAE happened, then Bahrain happened, then Qatar happened, and Oman happened. So almost all the Middle East countries. We are not in Yemen because there was some political controversy, and then the other
Yeah.
countries happened. But Middle East, we are now working with over 70 schools in the UAE
Wow.
and a few schools in Oman, Bahrain, Qatar, and Kuwait currently.
Wow. So are you teaching them online or your curriculum is being taught by your teachers? How is that
So
happening in those countries?
yeah, so we were doing workshops and seminars till last year. We are not doing anything online now. Maybe one random student sometimes if he comes to learn. But again, we once the June begins, I have to aggressively go there. We have a tie-up with some of the teacher institutions there and some schools over there. So I train the teachers and then they take it forward. But mostly I'm personally teaching on stage over there. That gives me the freedom to address every child at one go. Like every child from grade 5 to 9 can be addressed at one go because I'm teaching in some of the biggest auditoriums there, so we can do a lot of students at one go. But it's more like a touch and go relationship. It's not like a long course. At the most we
Yeah.
have 1 or 2 day courses that we are doing with them where we introduce them to the concept and then we tell them, okay, you can always go online and you can learn, because there is a restricting factor of one human being teaching. I have not been able to take it forward on a longer basis, but at least it helps create that consciousness. For someone who doesn't know Vedic mathematics at all, he at least knows what Vedic mathematics is. So this has helped us in popularize the subject all over the world.
Wow. So I'll take a moment from you, Dhawal. And then I want to say a big hello to all our listeners out there who's watching the show right now. A big hello to Anuj. Anuj is there. Then we have Bunny. We have Shovik. We have Tanya, who's also welcoming you. Uh, there's a question. Any tips on how to start for Vedic Math? We'll come back to that. But there's a question from Bunny, who has said, maybe you can answer this. What was the most difficult phase in your journey to success till date? So, and Tiasha also adds that this is very inspiring. What do you think was the most difficult journey to success till date?
Yeah, my most difficult challenge in this journey, which was and which continues to be, is jealousy from traditional teachers of mathematics. So whenever we go to a school, sometimes the teachers don't like us because the
True,
teacher has
true.
been teaching the conventional method, and then suddenly when I go and I say, look, this is not how you do cube root with 14 steps, you can do cube root in 2 steps, and the children are like shocked, and then they look at the teacher and the teacher feels very embarrassed. So she doesn't like me coming to the school. She's like, no, 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 Mr. Bathia, you please don't come.
Oh
And
my God.
this has been the challenge wherever we have gone, because when you give them a better system, when you give them a faster system, when you give them a quicker system, then proponents of the traditional system, they feel challenged and threatened. So they
Yes,
don't
yes,
like,
absolutely.
they don't like. So they try to tarnish the image of Vedic mathematics. They say, no, 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 this is not going to be used in school. You can't use this in the exam. What is the use of teaching this? Well, we should rather focus on our old curriculum that we have been comfortable teaching with. See, it's very easy to change children because they have fresh minds, but very
Yes.
difficult to change senior people who have been using the same system for a long time. So the challenge has been changing the mindset of elders, not of young children. I'm not getting your audio, Gaurav.
Uh,
Yeah, better. Coming now.
can you
Yeah.
hear me now? Some technical issue.
Yes.
Sorry about that. So
Yeah, yeah.
I know it's difficult when you're teaching senior teachers. It's very, very difficult to convey certain facts to them that maths can be fun too, and it doesn't have to be like you mentioned 14-step long. It can be only maybe about one or two steps at the max using Vedic maths. So they get very excited. You absolutely pointed out and hit the nail hard on the head, Dhaval. So let's come back where you mentioned about the book, but I must we we are honored to launch the book of Dhaval Bathia, second edition, Vedic Maths Made Easy. I want to thank you for sending me a copy. It's kind of you. And let's talk about that book a little bit. So what is new in the second edition? Let's talk about that a little bit. And then we talk about the other four books.
Yes. So I wrote my first book almost 20 years ago. And for 20 years, I didn't update the book because I was writing other books. I don't like writing on the same subject again. Felt there is so much more that I can give to the audience. But then I realized that there were certain topics that I also learned over a period of time, and I still learn new techniques. Yesterday, I learned a couple of new techniques too. So I thought, why not come up with a revised edition? And now in this revised edition, we have some interesting topics like time and work, time, distance, and speed, averages, profit and loss, percentage. Now, these are not Vedic mathematics secrets. These are general secrets, but they are very useful for students giving competitive exams. Those who are giving GMAT, those who are giving CAT entrance, GRE, IAS, IPS, railways, bankers, UPSC. So all these people will find it really useful to learn all these techniques.
Absolutely. So that book almost, I think, sold 300,000 copies and became a bestseller. Tell us about the other books which you have authored. And each one of them, friends, I must tell you, they're all bestsellers. So there's one on memory power, on Sudoku, how to top exam and enjoy studies. So let's talk about these ones a little bit.
Sure. So, How to Top Exams, interestingly, is my first book, not Vedic Mathematics. That was the very first
Ah,
book I wrote when I was 17 years old almost. And it is tips on how you can prepare for the exam, how to study, how to manage your time, how to impress the moderator, and exactly how to prepare for exams. And I always believe that study should be fun and enjoying. That's what Gaurav
yeah.
and me believe when we promote Vedic mathematics also.
Wow. And how about
So,
memory? Yeah.
yeah, so the How to Top Exams is now in Spanish and Korean language. It's been translated in two international languages. And then came Sudoku because Sudoku was a craze at that point of time. Suddenly, out of nowhere, this puzzle came and caught the fancy of the entire world. People were coming to me. They thought I'm a mathematician, so I would know something about Sudoku. I was not knowing. Did my bit of research. And now there are also some newspapers in India where the daily Sudoku puzzle is given by us. So if you
Wow.
open the newspaper and if you see the Sudoku puzzle, most of the time the puzzle is given by us. So we have a coded software which we are providing to the newspapers. So if you're solving a Sudoku puzzle, most probably it has come from our organization. So we took it one step forward and now we encourage readers to solve more of Sudoku. And then came memory power. So memory power was something very close to my heart. I was doing memory workshops also. I learned from Harry Loren and his books. So in this book, you will find how to remember history dates, how to remember geography maps, how to remember answers from the textbook, long answers from the textbook, how to remember chemical equations. So we have tried to cover the other subjects because we realize that if a child is very good in mathematics and if he's bad in other subjects, then he's going to have a bad score overall. So to cater to that market, I wrote Memory Path.
You are inspiring students everywhere you go, Dhaval. And from students, you took a leap to inspire young corporate professionals as well. You wrote a book on Dhirubhai Ambani, which was he swam with sharks for an ice cream. That was very, very inspiring. So, how did that happen?
Exactly. So, self-help and success and all these subjects are very close to my heart. I've been reading one book every week for the past 20 years now. So it's been
Wow.
there are in my college library there are certain books that have still been read only by me, voracious reader. So I always thought that there were so many ideas, but I wanted to write them in a fiction form, something that would keep the reader glued to it. Something like what Robin Sharma did in Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. So Robin is my good friend and an inspiration because we write for the same publishing house. We write for Jaico. And then this idea came that we need to write something that really inspires Indians to take up entrepreneurship very positively in a very aggressive manner. And that was the time I wrote this book. It has been approved by Reliance and Mukesh Ambani himself. It's a story of
Oh, wow.
Dhirubhai Ambani, from how in Aden he was a petrol pump attendant and his journey to being India's biggest corporate house. The entire story is explained in a fiction narrative, and every chapter ends with a suspense that propels you to read further. So we have got rave reviews, and of all my books, that still remains my personal favorite.
Wow, that's kind of amazing and very, very inspiring. I would like to take a moment again and come back to the questions which we have from our watchers and listeners from all across social media. So if you're listening, guys, right now, please say hello and type the name of the city which you are watching from. You're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and even Instagram. So please, guys, please type in your questions. So there's a question from Anirudh Nair, which is, I put it in front of you. What is the essence of Vedic maths, sir? How do you answer this question?
I think Gaurav is better poised to answer that. Okay, okay,
so, so
okay. Let us do something. We'll answer this jointly. Okay. Vedic math for me is shortcut, easy, and fast. And I think Gaurav can add to it.
yeah, so in addition to that, I would just like to add for Anirudh that it is a life skill. And if you want to do better in life, you must have one of these life skills which are already there, and Vedic maths is one of them. So it is the world's
Brilliant.
fastest mental math system, and everybody should be taking this life skill. So another question from Parul Sharma: will my IQ get better if I start practicing Vedic maths?
Yes, definitely. It will sharpen your brain. It will make you more. It will increase your creativity and analytical skills both, because it uses both left and right brain. Like when we do base method, we use X, criss, cross. There is design and mathematics at the same time. So definitely, it's a great boon if you learn Vedic mathematics.
Wow. And Anirudh again says that you are a great inspiration.
Thank you.
So
My
that's
pleasure.
a
Thank you.
compliment to you, bro.
Thank you.
And one more question has come up for the topic by Navneeta Archana, just short in. Hi, hi, and how to remember Vedic my shortcuts as my son is already practicing it.
Wonderful. So, as Gaurav always says, and I also believe that you need to have initial level of practice. See, human mind is such that whatever you do for 21 days, it becomes automatic subconscious. Okay, if you drive a car for 21 days, then 22nd day, you will automatically know where the clutch and gear is. Whatever you do consistently for 21 days becomes a habit. Positive, positive, negative, negative. If you smoke for 21 days, your brain will ask you for a cigarette on the 22nd day. If you want anything to be remembered subconsciously, do it for 21 days at one go. Then your subconscious mind will take over and it's going to become habitual. Now when I look at a number, I have both the methods of solving it, the traditional method and the Vedic math method, but by default the brain is programmed to look at it and solve it only from the Vedic math approach.
Absolutely. Very well answered, Dhaval. Very well answered. And I'm sure Navneeta had a take home for that. So, coming back, so in all your travels, and you have a mission, Dhaval, and I have seen you closely that watched you closely in terms of giving something back to society. So you standing up for the girl child and reducing Vedic maths there. So tell us something more about that. Tell us about your mission at your organization, which is Genesis Educare, your mission to educating girls globally.
Yeah, so I will tell you what happened. When I told you we were doing these public programs, and we realized that for the free session, everybody used to come. But then when we used to sell our books and DVDs, the boys would buy. And often the girl would not buy. And we would ask the girl, so they would say, no, mummy ne bhaiya ke liye paisa diya, mere liye paisa nahi diya. It
Oh my
translated that
God,
my
yeah.
parents paid money for the boy child because they are more interested in the boy getting educated, but they didn't give me money to buy your book or to buy your DVD. And it kind of hurt. It really hurt me, that why have a bias? In fact, if the girl is educated, then the entire family will come up. But this we observed, not in high income schools, but in lower income schools where they were struggling. So the boys would be given the advantage. They would come for the session. The girl would be, no, 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 you don't go. Let the bhaiya go and the sister can stay back. So it was really hurting. So we decided that in our sessions, If at all, if there is any kind of material to be given, we will only charge the boys. The girls were allowed free of cost. And then when we decided that, see, because we have certain costs to cover, which we can do with the boys. So then we said, okay, girls will be trained free of cost. And then every week we are doing one girls' school where we are training absolutely free of cost. So it kind of balances our commercial requirement at the same time our philanthropic requirement. And we have not tied up with UNESCO, and we have tied up with the Uganda Mathematical Society and some of these institutions in Africa, where the entire mission is to train 1 million girls. We have crossed 400,000. So another 600,000 girls are yet to be trained. We call it Mission 1 Million Girls. And the whole idea is that the girl child should be educated, and women are at par with men. There should not be any kind of bias. And every child does have the right to great education.
I think that's very fantastically put, Dhaval, because on one hand it's about entrepreneurship, and the other hand it's also about giving back to society. So that is something which you are doing fabulously well about the mission of educating girls globally. So I think I would applaud that, and not only me. I think there have been a lot of institutes who have applauded on this mission of yours. Especially, I would like to highlight that you are the top 50 finalist of the Global Teacher Prize. This happened in the UAE in Dubai. How did this happen? Tell us your Global Teacher Prize story.
Sure. So one of my students nominated me for the prize, the Global Teacher Prize, and I was not aware. And they kind of looked at my profile and they sent me a form, and I filled a form telling them about all the stuff that I'm doing. They kind of liked it, and they said we need to take your story further. So there were about 12,000 people from all over the world who applied, and I was selected in the top 50. I went to UAE and I met some top level people who have then helped us take it further to other schools, other countries, and other educational boards. And that was actually a turning point, I can say, in my career, because what I was doing at one country now got global recognition, and people came forward and really helped. So it happened in 2016, but then there has been no looking back.
Wow, that's fantastic. That is something which makes the entire country proud, Dhaval. And it's a privilege to have you amongst us today, leading the way for other teachers in the country. So it's a big privilege for me to be interviewing you today and
Yeah, same
asking
here,
you these
same here,
questions.
same here, same here.
Awesome. So that was something interesting. But what are the innovation? I remember reading your book, He Swam with Sharks for an Ice Cream. You always mentioned the orbit theory. You always told about that to go from one level to other, you have to do innovations. So, what all innovations have you done, and what's next for Dhaval Bhatia? What is the next innovation in Vedic Maths for Dhaval Bhatia?
Sure. So the very first innovation that we did was we took Vedic mathematics on teleshopping. I remember very early I used to watch Arthur Benjamin's ad on telebrands when I was a young boy. And Arthur Benjamin obviously is a very popular, fast mathematician. I read his book long time back. Then we decided, no, we need something in India also. So we launched our first teleshopping ad in Hindi for the catering to the Indian market, the towns and the villages. Then the ad did very well, so we took it to London. We shot the entire ad in London, and then we shot the entire ad in the US for the international market. Second thing, what we have done is we have reached to the regionals. The Vedic Maths book is now available in 14 languages: Gujarati,
Wow.
Hindi, Marathi, Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, Kannada, Bengali, Oriya. And we are exploring further languages where we are pumping money for the translation cost, the publishing part, buying the initial copy. So the foreign publishers are relaxed. We say we'll cover your initial cost. You just promote Vedic mathematics in your language, because there are 100 other languages that we have to reach out. Like you said,
Yeah.
yoga is our export, chicken tikka is our export, Vedic maths is our next big export, and we have to really take it forward.
I couldn't agree with you more, guys. People who are watching right now, that is Dhaval's organization is called Genesis Educare. I would like you to please throw some love there and visit genesiseducare.org. Please donate to Dhaval's organization for the good cause of teaching the girl child. That's a mission which Dhaval has taken up, and I'm sure with your support, it'll only fly high. So I believe now you're an investor, you are a accomplished lawyer, and what's your message for young entrepreneurs and startups? You own yourself. You are an investor in a couple of startups as well. What is your message for the hundreds of people out there?
Yeah, I feel this is the best time to be born on this planet. This is the best time where in 1 second you can reach out to the entire world. It has never been possible. Okay, this is the best time where you have an idea. There is an entire ecosystem in India. There are venture capitalists. There are startups who can take it forward. So don't get into that 9 to 5 job mindset. Don't get into the rut. Get out of it. Think something innovative. Think something good. And it's not about the money. Money comes and goes. There is joy in giving back. You feel worthy when you have an idea and there are millions of people out there who are going to benefit from your idea. This is the best time. There are startups, there are bootstrap venture capitalists, there are PE firms who will take your dream to the next level. So dream big, be bold, and take the risk. Right? It's worth it. It's totally worth it when you look at it in hindsight.
Wow, wow. Amazing message. And Namrita Archana aptly puts his thanks a lot. Grateful to you. Sandeep puts it very happy to be here. And a question from Sukanya, which is slightly technical. I am from a non-mathematical background. Am I eligible to learn Vedic maths? So,
You are
you want to answer
you are
that?
more eligible to learn than people from a math background. You should learn, and that makes you an even more appropriate candidate. Take it forward.
Awesome, 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 awesome. So that's what we have time for, Dhawal. You want to ask me some questions?
Yes, Gaurav. Uh,
Oh, I'll give you one
how?
question.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm going to ask you a question. Gaurav, what motivates you when you get up in the morning and you feel that this is India's core and you have been taking it aggressively forward? So, what is it that motivates you to take Vedic math forward? Because there have been so many opportunities you have got, but you have chosen to focus only on Vedic mathematics. That is really appreciable. You could have done abacus, you could have done X, Y, Z, but you have taken this as a core mission. So, what motivates you is what I want to ask you.
So Dhaval, that's a great question because we share something very common, a love for mathematics and Vedic mathematics. So why I promote Vedic mathematics is because of the passion. When I teach these methods to a girl child or to anybody else, I see the spark in their eyes. Ki,
Brilliant.
acha, that magical moment which is there. And that what excites me to take Vedic maths to, so many people. So there is a requirement not just in India. Africa, as you mentioned, is a big continent out there where maths is in a complete crisis. So when you take these core Indian values, core Indian methods to those countries, there's an application. And what better way to make India great again and promote a concept like
Brilliant.
Vedic maths? So
Brilliant.
that is what I feel, Dhaval, from the core of my heart.
That is very well put. Amazing, Gaurav. Very proud of you. India is proud
Thank
of
you,
you, I
bro.
can see.
I
India is
hope
proud
so,
of you.
and we're proud of you, Dhaval. It's an honor
Thank you.
to have you on the show and
Thank you.
sharing with us so candidly each moment and each question of your which we put to you. We are proud to have you amongst us. I want to thank all our viewers today for tuning in to the show. Please like, share, subscribe to the methods, to my show, and we'll make it popular. Thank you so much, Dhaval. And
Pleasure,
just,
Gaurav. Pleasure, Vedic
just
Math Forum India. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to announce something for our next live. We are going next live on Ancient Wisdom and Strategies for Students on 4th of March, which will be by Dr. Radhakishan Pillai. He's the author of the Corporate Chanakya, and we'll be discussing, some ancient wisdom and strategies for students. So do tune in, everybody, and we end the show here. Thank you so much, brother, and we
Pleasure.
take this off.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.